Okay, so I took a little break from last time. My throat is feeling much better, if you're wondering. Um, so if you remember, we just heard a description of what happened after the storm. Days later, the storm finally passed, revealing an alien world of soft white drifts. So, now we're getting into actual talking. I'm afraid the tra- I'm afraid the traders may not come this year, with conditions this bad. I don't know why I'm talking like that, said Garrow. They're late as it is. We'll give them a chance and wait before going to Carvajal. But if they don't show soon, we'll have to buy any spare supplies from the townspeople. His countenance was resigned. He grew anxious as the days crept by without sign of the traders. Talk was sparse, and depression hung over the house. On the eighth morning, Rowan walked to the road and confirmed that the traders had not yet passed. The day was spent readying for the trip into Carvajal, scourging, scourging with grim expressions for sellable items. That evening, out of desperation, wait, sellable, okay, Eragon could just sell those shiny rock things. I mean, they are shiny rock things. They might be worth something. I mean, the blue rock that's frictionless, that you just fall right through your hands and never stay on anything, may be worth something, but they're shiny rocks. Which, by the way, Aragon has been, things that are shiny have caught Aragon's attention, like, ooh, shiny. Pretty much. And we'll see more of that later. Um, that evening, out of desperation, Aragon checked the road again. He found deep ruts cut into the snow, with numerous hoofprints between them. Elated, he ran back to the house, whooping, bringing new life to their preparations. Wait, so they're still looking for sellable items? They packed their surplus produce into the wagon before sunrise. Garrett put the year's money into a leather pouch that he carefully fastened to his belt. Eragon set the wrapped stone between bags of grain, so it would not roll when the wagon hit bumps. But it's anyways gonna roll, it's frictionless. After a hasty breakfast, they harnessed the horses and cleared a path to the road. The traders' wagons had already broken the drifts, which spread their progress. I wonder if they're using those two horses that we heard before, or they're just carrying it themselves. By noon, they could see Carvajal. 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 Oh, I never noticed that. It's like Carvajal. In daylight, it was a small, earthy village filled with shouts and laughter. The traders had made camp in an empty field on the outskirts of town. Groups of wagons, tents, and fires were randomly spread across it, spots of color against the snow. The troubadours, what's that? Four tents were garishly decorated. Oh, I guess they're like storytellers or something. A steady stream of people linked the camp to the village. I'm not gonna look any words up anymore, unless I really have to. Crowds churned in a line of bright tents and booths clogging the main street. Horses whined at the noise. The snow had been pounded flat, giving it a glassy surface. Everywhere, bonfires had melted it. Elsewhere, bonfires had melted it. Roasted hazelnuts added a rich aroma to the smell wafting around them. Garrett parked the wagon, picketed the horses, then drew coins from his pouch. Get yourself some treats, Roaring. Do what you want. No, get yourself some treats. Roaring, do what you want. Only be at horse in time for supper. So they won't accept charity, but they'll still go for supper. Okay. Eragon, bring that stone and come with me. Eragon grinned at Roaring and pocketed the money, already planning how to spend it. Roaring departed immediately with a determined expression on his face. Garrow led Eragon into the shouldering, shouldering his way through the bustle. Women were buying cloth, while nearby their husbands examined a new latch, hook, or tool. Children ran up and down the road, shrieking with excitement. What are they shrieking in excitement about? They're not getting anything. Knives were displayed here, spices there, and pots were laid out in shiny rows next to leather harnesses. I still don't see why the kids are excited. I mean, you won't buy your kid a knife. Or would you? Okay, if you would, you're not a very good parent. Unless it's a toy knife, like plastic that's not really sharp that kids wear. But then it's okay. Um, Eragon stared at the traders curiously. They seemed less prosperous than last year. That's the word. Their children had a frightened, wary look, and their clothes were patched. The gaunt men carried swords and daggers with a new familiarity, and even women had poniards belted at their waists. I just have to do a little something, la 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 la. Okay. Um, what could have happened to make them like this? And why are they so late? Wondered Eragon. He remembered the traders being full of good cheer, but there was none of that now. Gara pushed down the street, searching for Merlock. The trader, Merlin. I'm guessing there's no, connection, but there always might be. Oh, I forgot to put part 1 on my Dragon Tales. Okay, so I'm gonna... There. Save changes. It's good now. We can go back. Okay. Okay, so Murloc is a trader who specialized in odd trinkets and pieces of jewelry. They found him behind a booth, um, displaying brooches to a group of women. As each new piece was revealed, exclamations of admiration followed. Eragon guessed that more than a few purses would soon be depleted. Murloc seemed to flourish, grow every time his wares were complimented. He wore a goatee, held himself with ease, and seemed to regard the rest of the world with slight contempt. The excited group prevented Garrow and Eragon from getting near the trader, so they settled on the step and waited. As soon as Murloc was unoccupied, they hurried over. And what... Okay, this is going to be Murloc's voice. And what my users want to look at, asked Murloc. Why do I keep calling him Merlin? Maybe because it's a complete copy. An amulet or trinket for a lady. With a twirl, he pulled out a delicately carved silver rose of excellent marksmanship. Workmanship, not marksmanship. Marksmanship is shooting people. The polished metal caught Eragon's attention, and he eyed it appreciatively. The trader continued, "Not even 3 crowns, though it has come all the way from the famed craftsman of Bellatona." So he could buy that rose with the money that Sloan would have given him for the stone, and then he bought that rose, and then sold that rose for more money, and then got all the meat, and it's not from the spine. So, I don't know if you thought about that, but Gareth spoke in a quiet voice. "We aren't looking to buy. No, we aren't looking to buy, but to sell." Murloc immediately covered the rose and looked at them with new interest. "I see. Maybe this item is of any value. You would like to trade it for one of these excu- exquisite, exquisite pieces?" He paused for a moment, while Argon's uncle stood uncomfortably, then continued, "You did bring the object of consideration." "We have it, but we would rather show it to you elsewhere," said Garrow in a firm voice. Merloc raised an eyebrow but spoke smoothly. "In that case, let me invite you to my tent." He gathered up his wares and gently laid them in an iron-bound chest, which he locked. Then shouldn't you bring it as well? Because someone could just take the entire chest, and then someone managed to break it open or something. Then he ushered them up the street into a temporary camp. They wound between the wagons to a tent removed from the rest of the traders. It was crimson at the top, sable at the bottom, with 10 triangles of color stabbing into each other. Merloc untied the opening and swung the flap to one side. I'm going to have to end this now. So, see you in the next part. Bye.